Good evening. My name is Sam, and welcome to the cinema, Midnight Cinema. Nice to meet you all. As I said, my name is Sam, and I'm a guy who enjoys movies. But I don't just enjoy movies. I adore movies. And along with that sentiment, I also enjoy talking about movies. So, that is why I've decided to make a channel to review movies. Movies that I like, I might not like, new, old, good, bad, anything. It can be from America, where that is where I'm from, as you can probably tell, or somewhere foreign. It can really be anything. Anytime, anywhere. And my favorite genre of movie would have to be horror and thriller type movies and mysteries. Those kind of things intrigue me a lot. However, I like generally any type of movie. So, if you would like to leave a suggestion in the comments, I suggest you do that. On to the review. So, I've always wanted to do reviews on a channel on YouTube, but I never really found a movie that would be a good starting point to review things from. I think I found it. 2 days ago, on Sunday the 6th of December, I went to see a movie entitled Krampus. Krampus is a movie by Michael Dougherty? I'm bad with names. You're gonna hear a lot of mispronunciations. See, I can't even speak English, let alone French and Spanish. It's a good idea to major in language, kids. Real helpful. Anyway, I saw the movie Krampus. And before anyone gets on my behind for saying, how could you not like this movie when everyone likes it? I did like it. But not every movie is perfect. Even movies like Citizen Kane have their problems. That said, let me begin by illustrating an idea I've been wondering about for quite some time. You have Christmas, a holiday known for things of joy and whimsy, and peace and family and goodwill to men. And then you have Halloween, the only 2 months before, but a very different kind of thought you have during that time of year. You think of maniacs and killers and ghosts and ghouls and things that want to hurt you and bring evil, not peace. So when combining Christmas and Halloween for the general public in a movie, for the general public to see, I'd imagine it's a very difficult process. Creating something that you truly believe, will make you money, and will be something that people will want to see time after time after time again. And as for this movie, I am glad that I saw it, but I don't know if necessarily I would want to watch it again. That being said, what did I like about this movie? Well, first of all, I enjoy movies such as Gremlins and Ghoulies and things like that. Things of the nature where there are these tiny little creatures that are very violent, and You can have a lot of fun, imaginative ideas with them. And that is what this movie did right. Not only using practical effects for most of it, minus the gingerbread men, which, yeah, it would be silly if you used practical effects for that, but if you accomplished it, I would applaud you. They did something really good with that, whereas I didn't feel as though the monsters looked like they weren't there, because there are some movies where you see a monster and you're like, well, I know that's not in front of me. Like, say, the Pyramid Head from Silent Hill's movie. Yeah, while he looked cool in the movie, I didn't really believe he was there trying to kill those people. He looked a little weird to me at some parts, especially his weapon. That looked really, really fake. But, like, really fake. So that's something that this movie definitely did right. It had a good combination of practical effects and CGI creations that made it realistic and cool looking and different looking. Another thing that this movie actually did right is, while I like to pride myself as being a person who's generally not affected by most things, yeah, you get a scare here and there with a jump. Is that a real actual scare? In my mind, it really isn't. Yeah, it can scare you for that moment of time, but that's just a moment of time. If you really want to make your film scary, you should present ideas, concepts, and/or creatures that will actually give a long-lasting psychological effect. You don't want to scar your viewer for life, but you want to get them thinking about it, because thinking about your movie will make it worthwhile of seeing. They might want to see it again. They might want to buy the movie when it comes out on DVD. These are the things you have to think of. It's not like you're creating Annabelle. You don't want to create an Annabelle-like movie. That was a one-stop shop. Something tells me that that's not going to be a long-term loved movie by all. Things like Psycho are remembered because it created an idea that was different at the time, and it was executed in a way that was shocking and different and got people talking. This movie, Krampus, will definitely get people talking. Why? Because its effects worked, and they were different. Everyone at the same time was probably building similar monsters and said, yep, let's just use CGI. But these guys, they did it right. And using quite a small budget, too. This isn't a major budget horror film. This is with relatively unknown actors and people working on it. Definitely the director, not many people know who he is. What this movie definitely did right in my mind is created something for me that I haven't had in a long time, which is an actual scare. And this actual scare did not come from Krampus, the prolific monster itself, but from one of his little minions, friends, I don't know what to call them. And this one came in the form of what you see in a Jack-in-the-Box. I don't know what these costume and effects makers were thinking at the time when they created this monstrosity, not to be punny monster, haha. But someone probably just came up one day, sat in front of a group of people around a table and said, you know what? You should take that thing from inside a Jack-in-a-Box, enlarge it 10 times scale, and give it the mouth of Predator. Yeah, good ideas. And actually, it was. It was the first monster to scare me in a movie ever since like 5 years ago when I watched John Carpenter's The Thing. First monster to ever like deeply disturb me Because, I mean, yeah, things that look like clowns and court jesters are scary enough. But when you give it the mouth of a predator when it really shouldn't have that, it's kinda screwed up. And it worked. So I definitely applaud whoever thought up the idea for that. Or group of people who thought up that. It was great. Now on to why I don't think I would ever see this movie again. The story. People have said it before in reviews, and I agree with the fact that the story was a little fuzzy. Not to be punny because there's a teddy bear in the movie, and that's probably really fuzzy. Um, yeah, it didn't quite work and mesh together in most parts. Like, I don't want to give anything away, but the ending was a bit of a cop-out. They had this really great thing going for them where I'm like, wow, this is going to be the first movie to do this, and it's going to be a Christmas-related movie. Oh my god. They're getting really, really tough these days. And then they did something else. And I'm like, oh, totally happy ending. Well, I'm kind of okay with this because I don't like the idea of too many people dying in a Christmas-related movie, even if it is horror. And then it did something weird, and then it confused you at the end. So you don't know really anything about what just happened, but it's like you just watched a movie, stared at a bunch of pretty colors on a screen for a little bit, and then went home. So I didn't really know what to make of the ending, the story as a whole, and some of the characters kinda were stereotypes, but others were kind of stand out, like they were really good. Another thing that, so, like, a surprising thing from this movie that I didn't ask for. It's like I asked for a Christmas horror movie about Goat Man, Krampus, and you gave me something I never asked for. I won't say what it's about, but somewhere in this movie there is a segment of claymation. Beautiful claymation, mind you. And it just struck me and my boyfriend, who I was watching the movie with, by total surprise. We just looked to each other and we're like, when did this turn into Nightmare Before Christmas? Now there's a good mix of Christmas and creepy. And it's for kids! Even better! So the whole family can enjoy that one. Some people involved with this movie that I was familiar with. Some of the actors, of course, looked familiar, but I didn't know them by name. The only one I did know by name, who I definitely, this is the reason pretty much I watched the movie, is Toni Collette. She is an actress who I know from a television show which was partly produced by Steven Spielberg. It premiered on Showtime, I believe in like 2010, and it was called The United States of Terra, about a woman with dissociative identity disorder. And the show was great, all the characters are great, and I loved Toni Collette's acting, so seeing that she was going to be in this movie, I immediately said yes, and that I was immediately going to see it. And the director, I was intrigued in, because I'm like, I've totally heard that name before. I looked him up and realized he has scared me more than once. He scared me in this movie, and he scared me when he made Trick or Treat. This was a movie that not too long ago me and my boyfriend were watching on Halloween. But we didn't watch it, we attempted to watch it. I don't want to give too much away, but trick-or-treaters getting killed really creeped me and my boyfriend out, so we stopped watching the movie. And I kind of hate but kind of love this director because he knew exactly how to unnerve people. Giving a predator mouth to a court jester and making an adult who actively wanted to kill children on Halloween. Two very scary ideas, and he put them. And for that I applaud him. And also want to punch him in the face. Just kidding. I think he's kinda cool. But overall, This is a movie that I'm definitely glad I put my money into, and that I saw, and I don't think I'll ever see it again. But it was a cool experience. Hope you liked this video, and see you later. Hope you had a fun time at the cinema.